Cool, cool. Hey, my name's John. I'm a software engineer with about 10 years of experience. I'd like to help you learn to code better and land your first or next programming role. Let's build some features. Today, we are working on the open source Latterly-3 project. Here I am on a pull request. We will be working to fix this up and ship it. We are building public profiles. So here is the Latterly website, latterly.io. You can go sign up now. There's a free tier. It's not only free, it's also open source. Features included with the free tier. Come chat with us on the Discord. There is 24/7 chat support with Claude LLM and more. For as little as $1 a month, you can contribute to the community bounty, unlocking features for everyone, access an advanced checklist, and for a limited time only, discounted expert sessions with yours truly. So yeah, here's the website, and we are building public profiles. So I have this checklist. I'd like to be able to check all the boxes and self-certify that I did it. And after I do that, I'd like to brag to the world that I did it. The problem is I can't do that right now because public profiles don't exist. So I'd like to be able to go to the settings tab and opt in to some features and have that publish a public URL that anyone can access. You've seen these, like LinkedIn has one, right? Like you have a LinkedIn page, you have a GitHub portfolio page, hopefully. And now you can have a Latterly public profile similarly, proving certain things. Initially, self-certification of the checklist, over time, certifications, badges, and more. Okay, so I've got ChatGPT pulled up, queued off with a role context task. So we are in a Blitz application. I have it cloned down here. Here's the package.json file. Blitz is following a Next.js architecture. That's a React framework, right? So this is full stack web development. So under the source pages directory, I could just slap in here a folder and call it like profiles and then make a dynamic URL. So the left and right brackets there form a dynamic URL, which is able to pass something as a variable to the interior component. So I can make a dynamic page name for like user ID. That's basically what I'll do if I have to do this manually, but I'd prefer to do this in an automated way. So I could go over to the Blitz docs, but I'm asking ChatGPT if it happens to know because that's quicker. And so I'm saying, can I use the Blitz CLI? I happen to know the Blitz CLI does generate pages, but I don't know if that's the best idea, even though it is possible. That's one of the benefits we get from going to ChatGPT is, in addition to finding out whether something is technically possible, ChatGPT will also often be able to comment about whether it's actually a good idea, in addition to whether it's actually possible. And that's something you might miss if you went straight to the docs. So maybe counterintuitively, GPT can be better than the official docs. Caveats apply, your mileage may vary. There's obviously the constraint of the fact that it has a 2021 knowledge cutoff. With fast-moving frameworks, that can be a real pain. Cool, so it's saying like don't do that. There's no built-in CLI command specifically for generating user profile pages. That's true. You can build pages in general, but it's not like specific to user profile pages. So I don't know if I like asked the question poorly or. I mean, this seems fine to me. This is basically what I would do. This is the manual way I would do it. It's using the app directory where you use the source directory. That's one of those differences due to the knowledge cutoff. Otherwise, it seems, hey, but it gave me the it gave me the code, which is awesome. Okay. Fetch the user data. Yeah, no problem. Link to the user profile page. Looks good. Let's do it. Okay, so we're in pages. I'm also going to create an index page. So here we have users. Notice the plural, similar to checklists and settings, etc. I'm going to eagerly create an index.tsx. We're going to make an index page. And then we will also make the dynamic user ID.tsx. I'll paste the code that I got from ChatGPT. Always, always, always manually review this stuff. Notice that it's not quite correct. So first of all, we need to make the get user query, but second of all, it would not be in the app directory when we do create it. I might have a query like this. Let's check this out. So this will be under users. So I do have users here, users queries. I have get current user, but I don't have a query to get an arbitrary user. I'll go ahead and make that. We'll just call it get user. Get user by ID is not really idiomatic. We generally sort of assume that if you're getting it by ID unless otherwise specified. I'll go ahead and grab this. GPT annotating the file as TSX. It should not be. It's just TypeScript. There is no X. It's just TS. Not a big deal. So you can see that it gets a lot of things right and it gets sort of smaller things wrong. If you're a junior, that might trip you up. But as a more senior developer, I find it incredibly helpful. Type does not exist, so let's go ahead and generate the type ID. That's going to be a number. Okay. Context isn't used, so we can drop it. Now, I need to ensure they're authenticated. I think the authorized pipe will be good enough. Basically just making sure that you're logged in. I think that's fine. By the way, you don't even need to be logged in because this will be public data. But that's going to be a setting, right? So a user is going to opt in to a public profile. We're not going to do it by default. Why use any other language? That's like a long conversation, right? There's different advantages to different languages. I would rather explain why we do use JavaScript by default in web development. The answer is that is the generally implemented language in browsers. So you need a really, really, really strong reason to pick anything else. Thanks for the likes. Good to see y'all. Hey, by the way, if you go to YouTube, the link is in my bio, you can see the full screen. Yeah, Leslie, thanks for being here, and 100% right. JavaScript can be slow. So that is one of the more common reasons for picking a different language. Okay. So we're going to let the user opt in to sharing their data even with unauthorized users. I'll just put it to do for now. If user allows it, even not logged in viewers can see some of their info, e.g. in the case of public profiles. Cool, so we have this. We'll go over here. I'll just delete the whole thing. Then I'll be able to quick fix it, import it. Quick fix this. Hey, I'm streaming. What's up?
I was going to ask if you wanted me to grab you Chick-fil-A.
Sure.
All right, bye.
Bye. Hopefully y'all can still hear me on TikTok. If not, check out the YouTube. Ascend on YouTube. Hey John, I have a question about my resume. Should I keep or remove my work experience? It's not tech related. It depends. Can you connect it to your tech career? So if you have a background in marketing, sales, that's going to be super useful. Almost anything digital will still be useful. If it's not, if it's, let's say, construction related, if you're applying to a construction related tech company, they would appreciate that, but the average tech company wouldn't care, right? If you are a cashier at a grocery store, most tech companies are not going to value that. But if you happen to be applying as a software developer to Walmart, it might be worth showing that you worked at Walmart. By the way, I did work at Walmart back in the day. Ascend says, okay, because it is retail sales. The answer is maybe. I would need to hear more info. Feel free to check out ladderly.io and book a call with me. You can book a call with me right here. You did retail sales, but what were you doing? Did you do anything like running online ads? So online ads connect to analytics, and web developers often implement analytics. So there's a connection point. You see how it could be related? You might have an experience with Google Analytics, for example. If you are sort of like working at Forever 21 selling perfume on the floor, that would not be super likely to lend itself to tech. That being said, just showing work experience in general has some value. So if that's like your only job and then removing it shows no work experience at all, that's not really ideal. You might want to go ahead and keep it. If you can just show that you're a good worker, right? So maybe you were just selling perfume on the floor of Forever 21. If you were doing a good job, you might want to include it anyway. And employers love to see numbers. Employers love to see numbers. So sales, even perfume sales, is one of those things where you can probably show numbers and make a nice line item on your resume. So the answer is, in general, it depends. Cool. Let's get back to coding stuff. Here we are with the user's name. Our users don't have a simple name property. We have first name. And user.name last. Postfixing this way is also similar to Hungarian notation. It allows variables to be grouped. When sorted alphabetically, they are grouped by similar kind, which is one of the reasons I like this style of nomenclature. We'll delete the old params import. We will hover quick fix and get the new version out of @blitzjs/next. Control-Shift-P, TypeScript, sort imports, Command-S. This is looking good. So here we have the user profile. It displays their email. I don't know that I want to do that. I would like to show if they have completed a checklist. Have they completed a checklist? To be honest, IDK. God, I don't miss front end at all. This was grueling. Sorry to hear that. What was grueling about it? Here in the terminal, I've navigated over to my Ladderly folder. I'll npm run dev. Get the dev server going. Command click on localhost. Pops up my default browser, which would be Chrome. 500 likes. Thank you so much. If you're enjoying the video, make sure to like it, and then TikTok will send it around to other people so they can learn to code too. Let's go ahead and open up the developer tools. So here we are. We have the index file. Let's mention to ChatGPT. While this is loading, we'll mention to ChatGPT. provide, oh, let me give it an example of a styled index page, basically. So this is called one-shot prompting. So shots refers to the number of examples that you provide to the language model. And even one shot, but especially 3 or 5 or more, you start to hit diminishing marginal returns after 5. But even one shot will dramatically improve performance to just asking it sort of a 0 shot with no examples. So I'll say here's an example of a styled styled page in our app. Create an index page for the list of users in a similar style. And here it will know things, it'll be able to actually read and understand like we're using Tailwind, hopefully. I don't know if I used any Tailwind styles on there. Actually, that may not have helped it at all. Checklist, I'm looking at this checklist component. Yeah, that was not helpful. My bad. Checklists page. Now I'm wondering how this is going to look awful, isn't it? Okay, yeah, I gave it a bad reference. Let's give it this one instead. This is the My Basic Checklist page. Command AXZ. 3 fingers on the magic pad allows me to swipe, scatter, and easily move around. Let's change the style. Let's change the page to include an important top nav, Tailwind styles, and other elements on this other reference page. Using React in my internship, how useful is it for landing a full-time job in the future? The answer is very useful. Leslie, thanks for the likes. Quick reminder, if you're on TikTok, you can go to YouTube. The link is in my bio and see the full screen. Cool, so let me grab this. We'll come over here. Now we want to get users. Fixing up the imports. Get users is not created. Okay. Let's see if it proactively created me a get users query. Make the get users query. Let's check out the schema. Command P, laterally, schema. I want to look at the user model, singular. So here's the user model. And the user should be able to opt in. User checklist item. This is gross. User checklist items. So let's give it some has booleans. Update this Prisma schema fragment for the user model. And let's change that. I'll say given this Prisma update the model to include some Boolean indicators for opting in to various features. Prefix, default each value to false, and prefix each Boolean variable name with has as an idiom. We want opt-in flags for the user allows other logged in users to see their profile. The user allows logged out users to see their profile. Let's see, do I even want a private profile? Like, never mind. We will simply show them on the directory if they have the public profile. The user has a public profile enabled. The user has a shout out rotation and Hall of Fame. The user has shoutouts enabled. Let's just call it that. Basically, we'll go with these two for now. Have you tried GitHub Copilot in chat yet? I think it's open to all Copilot subscribers, yeah. Yep, I'm a fan of all of the above. I'm using Copilot right now. I don't know if I like the chat feature, but I do like the inline autocomplete. Cool, so it just gave 2 booleans. Some of the benefit of ChatGPT is rubber ducking, basically. So that would have taken me basically no time flat to write it out, but typing it out and thinking about how I would ask the question is a lot of the work, even if I were to do this without ChatGPT. Yep, I got Copilot enabled right here. This is the labs. So they have the paint brushes. Where are the brushes? Oh, these are all brushes. So these things are kind of cool. I haven't used the test generation. I'd like to, but I haven't really had a use case for it yet. Yeah, I don't see the chat either. Maybe I need to update my version or something. I don't know. Okay, so write a get users query. Let's give it an example. So we'll go to get checklists. Here's an example get checklists query. Make the get users query. In that query, filter. So we should only return users that have public profiles enabled. Make the get users query. In that query, we should only return users that have public profiles enabled. Let's sort by sign up date. so that the newest users are presented first in the list of users. Copilot Chat is a separate extension. Okay, thanks for the info. Good to know. We can see where has public profile enabled. So I'm going to copy this code. We have get user. Let me go over to the files here. Control click new file, get users .ts. Paste that here. Save. Now it's erroring because I haven't migrated, so this field doesn't exist in the database yet. So we need to do something called a migration. So I'm going to stage Prisma here. I have a migration command, npm run migrate. How do you get Code Interpreter? You have to pay for the like $20 a month to get the GPT-4 and the premium, and Code Interpreter comes with. $3,000. Leslie is carrying the team. Thank you so much. Quick reminder, if you're on TikTok, you can go over to YouTube. The link is in my bio and see the full screen. By the way, after public profiles are enabled, the next feature slated is called the shoutout. So here, where is it? Here's the open roadmap. This is all open source. And there's a shoutout rotation and a Hall of Fame. And these are basically donation leaderboards. So if you go sign up for Ladderly today, even during the stream if you want, and if I confirm that you paid some amount, I can go ahead and opt you in. And you can be one of the first people to opt in for these. So let me know. And you'll get your name on a donation leaderboard effectively. This is all in service of Ladderly.io. Here's the website. You can sign up for free, as little as $1 a month, or premium starting at $30. Okay, so we ran the migration. Prisma generated this SQL file. Looks like the database, my Supabase database, is now in sync. By the way, Supabase is about to kick off another hackathon. So I'll say migrate opt in bools. The feature here is migrate opt in bools. We'll push that up. Now I'm going to blitz generate. Sorry, see that. Blitz Prisma generate. And this is going to regenerate my types. So now the feature that was complaining, we were over on the user's query. And notice it's not complaining anymore. The lint error has gone away because that Boolean now exists and my type definition is included now. Chlorophyta, thanks so much for the follow. Thank you for being here. So here I'm control clicking, I'm closing others. So now I have get users, and I'm going to go over to the index page, Command P, user index, enter. This is the wrong, Ladderly user index. Okay. We're complaining on the keyword page. Why is that? Cannot find name page. Let me actually refer to my other user index from my other app. So this, it's coming in through the router basically. In our user index page, the keyword pages is undefined. Here's a user index page from another app. Fix this issue in case that helps. Oh, my back is kind of bothering me. I think I've been standing up too much today. It's doubling down. I'm going to say the pagination is broken. The issue with pagination might be the missing page variable. Isn't that what I said? Did I type something wrong? Oh, I said pages. Okay, no, that's on me. When you're talking to a computer, you got to be precise, right? I said pages instead of page. It's giving me fragments, which is helpful. I could figure it out. I could figure out like where to put the pieces, but honestly, I think it'll be faster if it just dumps the whole thing. Cool. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, so given this, let me npm run dev. Now what is the test I'm going to do? A functional manual test. I'm going to go to the user list. By the way, I don't have a link from the sort of homepage or dashboard to the list of users. So I could make a new link, which is like the user directory, or I could make a drop down. What would I like to do? Am I going to have, if it's sort of a one-off, I can do a link. What does Codecademy do? Let's see what Codecademy does. I don't know. They have these drop downs, right? They have these super menus. These are really cool components. I like these a lot. Community, forums, Discord chapters, code crew. What is a code crew? So I don't think there's just like a directory of users, is there? Catalog. Cool. Yeah, so this directory of users thing, I'm not sure that I even want to use it. Should have thought that one through. Okay, anyway, let's go to users. And it's showing no one because no one's opted in. All right, let me go opt in, pull up the database on another screen. You will not be able to see this. How many users are we at now, by the way? We are at 55 prod users. Shout out to everyone who signed up. Thank you so much. Okay, so I have to track down my user's ID. And there it is. So I will manually enable myself in this new field, has public profile enabled. True, and I'll enable the shout out. And I will populate my first name. Let's leave the last name unpopulated for kicks. Cool. Invalid link with an A child. Right. So this is another one of those knowledge cutoff issues. We just don't need the anchor anymore. Cool, so this is what it looks like. It looks kind of dopey, but whatever. And then I'm able to click over. John, have they completed a checklist? To be honest, I don't know at the moment. Poppy Sensei, what's up? Thanks for being here. FDFD, thanks for the follow. Cool, so we're going to convert this into the so-called Hall of Fame. Hi. When I'm done. So the Hall of Fame is different than just a straight up user directory. You know what? It'll be good. It'll be good to have a user directory. Let's add one more Boolean, which is like, are you open to work? I think that could be a useful feature. No? Why not? Let's do it. It gives utility to this otherwise. Otherwise, I'm kind of like, why does this list exist? Command P. We'll go back to this. LMNOP has open to work. npm run migrate. Instead of having a lot of Booleans, use a bit field system. No, because readability matters. And I'm not going to use a state machine either. Enter a name for the new migration. Open to work bool. Push that. So let's let GPT know I created a new user model field called open to work. Let's update the user list to show a badge if a user is open to work. Style this badge component with Tailwind. Have it resemble a so-called pill component. It can be readable using bit fields, it just has to be made correctly. I agree with you. What you're suggesting is non-trivial though. That's not like something simple, intuitive. So I think you're using like a narrow definition of readability where you're like, you can technically read it and figure out what's going on. The problem is it's a foreign mental model. It's an uncommon mental model. So most people are not going to know how to deal with that. So it's really not a great option. If I was dealing with like double digit, like I need to be restricted to double digit millisecond database responses or less, then I would take it seriously. But like, I think it's not worth the trade-off at the moment. Okay, so here is the users list AVS. Oh, it just wanted to update the users list only. Okay, so let's undo that. Here's the users list. I'll collapse it using my IDE. Hold shift, up, left, backspace, V, S. Cool, let's see what it looks like. Let's see what GPT came up with. Close this, here we are. I need to run the server. I should see nothing. It should look just how it looked previously because I have no users in the database that are quote unquote open to work. But then I'll go in and change it and we'll be able to see it. By the way, that will wrap up the stream whenever we get to that point. The good news is we got all the way over here to this public profiles page. Close all, Command P, users, user ID. So here's the user ID page. Have they completed a checklist? To be honest, I don't know at the moment. I want this to change so that it says yes or no, basically. Invalid A link again. Okay. So we fixed it, but we never told GPT that we had to fix it. So it didn't understand that there's an error, so it didn't bother to do the thing. Ah, so it made an error here. See, it only shows them if they're open to work. Now that's not ideal. So user has open to work and open to work. Users, where these users comes from, still comes from this get users. No, I should be able to see When I migrated, did it reset me into a false permission state? Let's see. Public profile is enabled for me. I should be able to see my name. Should be able to see my name right here. Let's go over to the network tab. Get users has me. There I am. Okay. By the way, I don't want all these fields public. I only want to select certain fields. Oh, I have a UUID, that's cool. Command C. Update the get users query so that we only pick out selected properties. The Boolean fields, name fields, created at date, ID and UUID. Derek, thanks for the follow. Oto, can you briefly explain what you were doing? Absolutely. So we're working on Latterly.io. Here's the public website. This is a website that helps you learn to code, land your first or next programming role. It's free and open source, and then you can upgrade for as little as $1 a month. Pay what you can, pay what you want, and then go premium if you're able. You'll be contributing to unlocking features for the whole community through the community bounty if you do that. So shout out to everyone that's doing that. And what we're enabling now is the public profiles feature. So let's say that you are one of the premium members and you would like to get recognition through a banner on the website. Today, you're not able to opt into that. And so we're trying to create the feature where you can go to your settings in the upper right, settings. On this screen, I'd like to be able to opt in to that quote unquote shout out feature. So that's what we're doing today. Okay, so here we have ID, UUID created at, cool. Let's grab this. Command P, get users. Command A, VS. Going back to my localhost, Command R to refresh. I'm looking at users. I see I'm still here. And now my email is not exposed to the admin notes. Emails and other fields that I don't want public, they are not exposed. Actually, the email is okay. Should that be its own field? Yeah. So you can have a public profile and choose whether or not to save your so what's on your public profile? So let's have profile, contact, email. Let's have profile, portfolio, or contact, profile GitHub, URI, profile LinkedIn, URI. So what's going to go on your public profile? Your name, your email, this email, not your sort of login email. It could be, if you so choose. What else? You can have a home page. I think these are the main things that I want you to be able to publish on your profile. Maybe you can do a byline, an about me. Let's do a byline as well. We can do a blurb. Oh no, my session expired. Bummer. Let's add the following fields to the Prisma model. And then I'll go ahead and also add them over to this get users query. am I able to regulate the string max length on these fields using Prisma? Thomas Mad says, beautiful work. Thank you, Thomas. Cool, so it's saying we should regulate it through the API. That's fine. In Prisma 5, we might be able to, but I'm not sure. Okay, so we'll mark these as all optional strings. Run the migration again. This is profile data. Update this get user query to include the user name, opt-in booleans, profile strings, but not their other fields. Okay. Let's update the component page. Oh, I want to declare if they've completed a checklist. Here's the checklist model. Here is the checklist model. I didn't ask it a question, sorry about that. Update the get user query to indicate whether the user has any completed checklists. Update the get user query to list the user's completed checklists. To list the user's completed checklists. Select up to 3 most recently completed checklists. And let's change the word select to the word include, because technically when the ORM makes its query, it will be using an include clause. What language is this? We are using TypeScript. This modeling language is a Prisma DSL, a domain-specific language, but most of our application is using TypeScript. There is about 4% Python in this application as well for some data processing. Okay. If the user allows it, even a not logged in. Now we will say update this user profile to display the profile strings and whether the user has, and the user's completed checklists, if any. Still trying to get the hang of type from JavaScript. Not too hard, but habits are hard to break. You know, I agree with that. Why does it look so blurry? Just because of the TikTok like camera focusing. I don't know. That should be a bit better. It'll look a lot better on YouTube. The link is in my bio. Old habits die hard. Yeah, that's definitely one of the hardest pieces of shifting to TypeScript from JavaScript. It's just remembering to use the types. So we'll highlight this, Command V, paste over the top. It says export. Oh, we've actually done the whole user profile, eh? I'm going to delete that line. GPT thought that I had given it an isolated component, which I did not do. That's okay. All right, y'all, we're getting into the last 5 minutes here. Thank you so much for being here. Let's npm run dev and see if this bad boy works. Review the differences here. If the length is greater than 0, great. What I was wanting to make sure is that GPT doesn't do the following. GPT doesn't say, this user has completed no checklists. That would be a bummer, right? Cool, so this works for now. Yeah, and you can sign up for free, link in my bio, or visit Ladderly, ladder like a ladder, ladderly.io. Okay, so here is localhost. I think this previous and next buttons will want a bit of Tailwind padding. So what else do we want to take care of? So, from the dashboard, I should be able to get to the user directory. Yeah, I guess we're gonna bite the bullet and have a user directory for now. In the future, we should do something different with that, so that it's not just a user directory. That's not a very attractive link. I want it to say something like, the Hall of Fame makes sense, and then users who are looking for work also makes sense. Browse profiles. I don't know. I'll have to stew on it. Tailwind over separate filing for CSS. What is that like? Tailwind over Bootstrap. I do generally prefer Tailwind over Bootstrap these days. I would not say Tailwind over CSS. I wouldn't say that. You start with CSS, and if you have the use for Tailwind, you use it. So why is this has open to work, has public profile enabled? So why is it not showing the name there? User. This is a single user. I'm going to go to the index page. We are getting the users. So here's the users map. Let's do something sort of silly like this. And it does show, right? So the map is running. The link seems invisible. It seems like that's what's happening, that the link is invisible. So there's no text in the link. Okay. because the name first is undefined. The name first is undefined. Is it network? Network, users, result, users. The name first is undefined here. I thought I put my name into. I thought I put my name into it. Let's do name first or. Alan, what up, John? Thanks for working tonight. Thanks for being here, Alan. I'm gonna go out on a limb and say that if they haven't listed their first name, you know what we can do? We can do this. We can just say, or user, and then call them by their ID. We get that link issue again. Okay, so great. I'm user 1 now. Let me check in the database. Name first. Yeah, my name got wiped somehow. So my name is John. Bam. Click over here, and now we've updated it. Are you me? I'm not you. How did you find me? What's up, me? So I click here. Oh, let's get the padding on there. Previous, next. Oh, they're disabled. Previous. Update this button that markup to include some left padding using Tailwind classes. Some smart Tailwind people out there wouldn't have even had to do that, but I can never keep those class names straight. And I think that looks a bit better, doesn't it? Yeah, so the last thing I want to do is expose the setting so that I can ship this and y'all can opt in. So here we are on the settings page. So here, oh, and I also need to have on the dashboard. So let's go to, we need to be able to get there to the user directory. Let me know, probably after the stream, leave a comment on the YouTube video or on my TikTok videos or whatever. What should we call this thing instead of like the user directory? That just feels like a boring thing to have, or am I overthinking it? Wouldn't be the first time. So here's the Laterally homepage, the sort of site index. So we have the top nav content, blog. This is if you're logged in. We have the blog in the settings and a logout button. Now what I'd also like to have is like browse users or user directory or something like that. Okay, so we'll just add it like this. Now I can go back to home and I can see the user directory. Here we are, John. Now I can see John's very, very ugly public profile. It'll be easy to fix up once we get there, but that's what it is for now. Okay, we go back to home. So we have the user directory, and now I want to go to settings. So let's commit this. What we're committing is feat init public profile and user directory. That's what we're actually committing right now. We'll push that. The last thing is to make sure that you can actually get to opt in. Here's the current user settings page. Let's add a second column. You know what? Let's see. How do I want to style this? I don't want another card. Or not another horizontal card. You know what? We could. And then it would sort of wrap down. I don't know. I don't know if I like it. What do you think? Maybe. Definitely not on a mobile phone. I could be persuaded either way on desktop, but on mobile phone, it certainly needs to wrap so that there are two cards vertically stacked, and frankly, they could be two cards vertically stacked on desktop as well, and that would be all right. So let's go for the latter because it works in either case, and we can always change it later. What is that component called? So that is the settings list. I'll call this a W-full component. Let's add a second W-full component, which allows the user to opt in to the various features and update their profile strings. Handsome Devil, thanks for the follow. Create a hidden view for backup in Stripe to grab user data first. What's up, McFly? Interesting proposal there. I'm not sure exactly why I would want to do that. So feel free to drop by the Discord later and we can chat about it. Robert, what are you coding in? The answer is TypeScript. Emails, that is. Okay. Do you have ChatGPT Plus and is it worth it? Yes, I do, and yes, it is. Love this thing. Command A. Okay, so it just updated the setting list if I'm not mistaken. So here's the settings list. So I'm collapsing the settings list. I'm going to delete it and then paste. And let's just take a look at how it looks. Update profile schema is not defined. Well, I don't have that schema, so, okay, it's creating a whole new schema. Here is the existing settings schema code. Update it appropriately. What are you making? We're working on Latterly.io, so you can visit it right now. Link is in my bio. You can sign up for free. It's free and open source. And then there's also pay what you can, as little as $1 a month, and a premium tier with even more super duper features that help you learn to code, land your first or next programming role, and grow your social and professional networks. Over 4,000 likes. Thank you so much. Alan, users is a little unspecific. Add one word after that to steer the directory name in a certain direction. Yeah, that makes sense. One thing that I've seen some sites do that I really like is the like sort of random name generation. Where instead of like user2, it'll call you like Blue Llama or something like that. It'll sort of make up a name for you. So I agree. What should I call them? Associates, students, student directory? How about student directory? Community directory? I guess I'll go with that. User directory. Community directory. How about that? I really don't know. So I'm open to suggestion, but we'll go with that for now. Cool, it's got a URI validator. We also want LinkedIn and GitHub. Can we also validate that the LinkedIn URL includes the substring LinkedIn, and similar for GitHub? Ashley, thanks for the follow. The UI could be better, no hate. Hey, I agree with you. Hey, it's open source, Mo, so feel free to submit a pull request. The old ChatGPT, yep. Love it, copy that, bam. So now we have these updated schemas, and it's going to ensure that GitHub includes GitHub. So it needs to do a slight modification to address that. Ashley just started the Meta front end on Coursera. Loving it so far. So much to learn and keep learning. I agree. The Meta front end course is arguably like the best. It's probably the best course in the world for front end, in my opinion at the moment. So yeah, keep us updated on what you think about it. Yeah, but I'm starting with Python. I hope to get to the point where I can build projects on my own. You can do it. Just hang in there. Cool. This is looking fantastic. Look at this. This is looking fantastic. Okay, so now this is the update settings schema. Should I have only, or should I have a distinct schema for updating settings? So I worry that we're overflowing the GPT context window. So it told me to have a setting form and another setting form. Here are the settings, here are the updated settings, these are user settings. This is the update profile schema. Okay, interesting. So is it using, it's using update settings mutation, and there's two different schemas and forms for the same mutation. That's really interesting. Previously, you provided two forms. Either provide a unified form or provide the multiple schemas. All right, let's go with the approach of multiple schemas. Caved. No, that's perfect. That's a perfectly fine answer. I have no issue with that. So we'll grab this. I'm going to remove that ginormous schema, and we'll have two smaller ones. That's nice and modular anyway, right? Nothing wrong with it. So now, when I come over here, ask it why it chose multiple schemas. Why did you choose multiple schemas? Maintain separation of concerns and simplify validation. Also makes code easier to maintain and reason about. I love it. Look, it's right. It's right. There's a bunch of reasons to stay modular. It's right. Alan says, all right, that's a great answer. Agree, agree. Initial value settings. So we need to get settings now. Let's say update this get settings query to support the new profile fields. How did you learn how to code? I started with Codecademy about 10 years ago. I started by customizing WordPress websites. I was in political consulting at the time. Our clients needed websites to collect donations, email addresses, get their message published, and more. Then I got out of politics and I got into working with the Patent and Trade Office. And from there, it's practice, practice, practice. I always say thank you before closing the tab because GPT deserves your respect. That's so funny. I like how it's just like, sure, and then it like dishes out. This would normally take like half a day of work easily for developers of a certain level. Okay, so here we are. Now we have the edit settings and the edit profile. But this is goofed up. This is goofed up. Let's do this again. I need to update the setting form. That's the issue. Here, whoa, didn't mean to yell at you, sorry. Here is the setting form. Create a new profile data form. Could you do the same thing with HTML, CSS, and JavaScript? You could. It would just take a lot longer. Do you sell computers? You have a lot to code with. I do not sell computers. Okay, so now we have a profile form. Let's make a distinct component. So we have the setting form, new file, profile form.tsx, paste S. We want to import the labeled. Oh, we don't have the labeled checkbox field. Bummer. I do in another project. Let's see if I have it on this computer. Yeah, no. I'll comment it out for now. I'll fix this after the stream. So we'll deal with having only... Okay, this means it's not going to be available during the stream. It'll have to be available later tonight. Sorry. But you can still check this out tomorrow. We'll call this the profile form. let's update the update settings mutation. I just want to see that it lets me update my profile. Okay, so we're copying this, AVS. I have some issues. My input is not validated. Oh, bother. So basically it needs to create a type. Let's see if it understands that. Did not seem to understand that. Oh no, oh no, oh no. Okay, well that quieted it down. Let's give it a test. I'm not sure that this is going to work, but that's okay. Close the others, so we're going to, whoa, cancel this. Z, Shift Z, so what's the issue here? Okay, no issue at all, I just forgot to save. So here we are. We are going to go back to home, basically start from the beginning. Could you walk through your git ignore before you sign off tonight? I will, but it's going to be quick. Hey, Alan, the TLDR is that Blitz.js, when you create a new application with Blitz, they provide a git ignore file for you. So basically that will take care of your issue. Okay, so we have this community directory, which is new. So I'm going to click that. Mern is very confusing. We're not using Mern. The database here is Postgres. So it's SQL. Okay, so we go to the community directory. Here's John. Here's John's stuff. The user has not completed any checklists and his profile is not filled out. What a bummer. This guy's like a dork. Here, let's see. Boom. Oh, a new checklist version is available. Whatever, I'll do that later. For now, yay, I finished. Did I finish it? I finished a checklist. Let's go back to home. Now that I'm doing this, I don't know that checking all the elements of a checklist marks my, yeah. So I don't think that mutation is working. Let's go over here. My profile blurb. Sometimes I drink coffee. Let's update that. Ooh, URL must be a GitHub URL. No. I should allow I should be allowed to send an empty string if I want. GitHub URL. This is why we test. Settings. So here we have the update profile schema. Update these to allow me to pass an empty string or null URL for GitHub or LinkedIn if I so choose. Please. 6.4K likes. Y'all rock. Shout out to Robert. Thank you so much, Robert. Quick reminder, you can go sign up for the version in prod. It doesn't have the public profiles yet. That's coming this week though. But the important stuff, the curriculum, open source, standard checklist, social community, chatbot, all the cool things are here. You can book a consultation one-on-one with me if you want personalized help. So yeah, go sign up. It's pretty cool. Let's see if GPT finished the thing. Okay. So we've created these optional validators. Save that. Now the question is whether the others are being used at all. So the LinkedIn URL validator. It's just not used anymore. So I will remove these dead code. Importing isn't real coding. I prefer to code from scratch. Chad shit. Any security existent. I mean, yeah, there's authentication and roles and okay. So yeah, sometimes I drink coffee. Let's update that. Oh no, invalid email stripe. Ooh. Why are you trying to yeah. So Prisma email stripe. It needs to be on. It needs to be on there, even though it can be empty. What to do in this case? I think instead of rushing this, I'm going to take this offline and do this the email stripe. So it's here. Did I just get them switched about? So here's the profile form. Let's use the update settings schema on the profile form. I know that seems goofy, but just vibe with me for a minute. Did that work? Get settings. Profile blurb is still empty. It's not submitting. Yo, what's up? What's the backend looking like on your website? Oh, well, we've been in the schema code and we've been in the domain right here. So these are the database models. The blurb is not being submitted here. Blurb. Here's the blurb. We update the settings. Updating setting mutation. Blurb. Here's the blurb. Update settings schema. Let's see if I got a blurb in there. It looks like the blurb is like getting filtered at some step. No, it looks like we're not even submitting the form. Setting form, profile form. On submit. It's not disabled, is it? Okay, yeah, I'm not gonna rush this. This is important information. All right, so we're gonna. No, it's not duplicates. The button is not submitting. Thanks for being here. That's gonna do it for today's stream. 6.5K likes. Thank you so much. Quick reminder: follow the link, the TikTok, and follow the YouTube. The link is in my bio. Looking to make some buttons fall into a container and have them draggable within the box. Cool. Yeah. You can drop by the Discord. Link is in my bio. Let me know how I can help. That's going to do it for today's stream.